Good evening. I wanted to talk to you today about a very special book. It's the Bible, but it's translated into today's language. It's a very modern take on the ancient text that we call the Holy Scriptures of the Bible, and that is this book, The Message, the Bible in Contemporary Language by Eugene H. Peterson. I'm going to walk it up there real quick so you can see it. It's The Message, and it's the Bible in Contemporary Language. The author of this book, Eugene Peterson, started his professional career as a teacher. He taught the biblical languages of Hebrew and Greek in a theological seminary. He had planned on spending his entire life as a teacher and a biblical scholar, but his life took an unexpected turn, and he eventually found himself in front of a congregation pastoring. Peterson said that one of the first things he learned as a pastor is that nobody seemed to care so much about the Bible that they had so recently been paying him to teach them, and that they cared very little about it. They weren't very interested in learning it, and in fact, many of the people that he was pastoring to had never read the Bible cover to cover. On the other end of the spectrum, there were the people he was preaching to that did read the Bible. They read it every day and from cover to cover, and the problem is that they had read it so much, the familiarity of it had gotten them bored. And so many parts of it have been reduced to cliches just because they studied it so much. So it sort of lost its magic for them. And so Peterson decided to make it his life's work to get God's Word back into people's heads and, more importantly, into their hearts. And one way, as a biblical scholar, well versed in the ancient Hebrew and Greek languages, that he thought of to do that was to translate it into today's language. The language that we use to communicate with each other, to tell stories, to talk to our children. So for 30 years, Peterson worked in his congregation with his great knowledge of the ancient languages to work God's message to be heard into a new way. Very careful not to lose the message of the translation. He worked it into modern day language that everybody could understand. Then one day in April of 1990, he was approached by a publisher who had heard what he was doing to print the things he was telling his congregation, to put it into print. And so for 10 years, he worked with a publisher to print what he had been doing for 30 years. And the result of 40 years of hard work and one man's entire life is this book, The Message. It's a very good book. If you are a studier of the Bible, it will put it into a whole new light for you, easier to understand. You'll learn the meanings of some things that you didn't necessarily catch in the original translation. And if you don't read the Bible a lot, you'd like to start, and you find it, especially if you have a King James version, you find it just these and thous so hard to understand, grab a copy of this book, and it'll be much easier for you to read. Peterson said that he never meant for this book to replace the Bible, so I'm not telling you that. It's a supplement to the Bible. It is the Bible, and it's just translated into today's modern language, but you should still read the regular Bible as well. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I'm going to read some of the books of this Bible and post them on my YouTube channel. I'm not going to do the whole Bible like I did the audio Bible, but I'm going to do a few Old Testament books and a few New Testament books, so you can get a feel for it and see how it works for you. And also, if you like what you hear, there's a Facebook page, PullyMinistries Verses from the Message, in which we post verses from this book, now and again. So you can go like that page if you're interested in receiving verses from this to see how the translation works for you. So I recommend that you get a copy of this book, The Message, and there'll be videos coming up, like I said, of me reading the books. And I hope you watch them, and I hope you enjoy them. Thank you for watching this. I'll see you later.